What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black. It's STEVEE the Black. I'm back, and I'm here to give you my Eagles and Raiders predictions video. Man, these last couple predictions video, I've been getting them out extra late, but as long as they get out, that's cool with me. So here we are, guys, in the home stretch. Literally in the home stretch. You know, we got 2 games left, guys, against the Raiders and against the Cowboys. How crazy is it that a year ago we were fighting, well, for respect, I guess, in a way. We weren't going to go 5-11. We ended up 7-9 for the second straight year. And it's just amazing how 1 year turned this all around. The development of Carson Wentz, the better team that is around him, you know, it's just amazing. And it's just amazing how 1 year turns around. But anyway, after a brutal 3-game on the road stretch, the Eagles finally are back home at Lincoln Financial Field. I mean, if I were to grade the Eagles' 3-game road trip, I would give them a B+. I was tempted to give them a C. But when you come off your toughest part of your schedule 2-1, I mean, it says something, right? It says what a great team you are. Now, the reason I was going to give them a C, well, it's obvious. The defense. You thought I was going to say Carson Wentz, and that's a big part of it. But the reason why it's not because of the defense as badly as they played on the road is because, yes, the defense has played bad, starting with the Seattle Seahawks game where they could not get to Russell Wilson. Then to the Rams game where they let them score 31 points on us. Or was it 34? I think it was 34. And then to the what do you call it? And then to the Giants game where we let 500 yards passing from Eli Manning, and it was just ridiculous. But the reason why a B is because when the Eagles needed a stop on defense, they got that stop. When they needed some momentum on defense, they got it. When the Eagles lost Carson Wentz in that Rams game, we needed something big to happen. And defense got us a strip sack courtesy of Chris Long. When the Eagles needed a stop against the New York Football Giants on 4th and goal, we got that stop. Because there would have been, 40 seconds? Wouldn't have been enough time. Wouldn't have been enough time. And we would have ended up losing that game. So, yes, the defense played bad. It played horrendous. It gets no excuse on the road or not. You're supposed to play good. But when we needed a stop, we got it. When we needed a break, we got it. So, that's why I say the defense, or rather the Eagles as a whole, gets a B. And now we're coming to the final home stretch where if the Eagles win on Monday Night Football against the Raiders on Christmas, we get home field advantage. We lock up that number 1 seed. Again, amazing how a year turned around, how we were 7-9, and now we're talking about a number 1 seed and home field advantage and possible Super Bowl appearance. Amazing, isn't it? And I know what you're thinking. The defense, there's no way that just being at home, that the defense is just going to turn it on, that it's just going to click. Well, there's a reason why it's called home field advantage. Because being at home has its advantages. You can do the things you would normally do if you were playing at home. You don't have to travel. If the Eagles travel, it's traveling to Minnesota, not to play in the NFC Championship game, but to play in the Super Bowl. If the Eagles, that's why being at home, the Eagles are their best. They're at their best. They're dominant. They hold teams to 15 points or less. I mean, at home, the Eagles are non-beatable. which is great because since Doug Peterson has come to Philadelphia and been our head coach, as questionable as we have called him sometimes in his decisions, can you say that being 12-2 since he started, is that really a bad thing? That's a great thing. I mean, really, half the home games, away games we went to this year, Eagles fans took over and it was like an Eagles game. But now we're actually gonna be in Lincoln Financial Field, where there's a whole stadium full of Eagles fans and chanting your name to give it everything you got. Home field advantage. And I will admit, I wanted the Packers to beat the Minnesota Vikings. For Aaron Rodgers to get his revenge, but he has to wait till next year. And B, to help us clinch home field advantage. But even if he did beat them, I would still want Nick Foles to play in this game at least 3 quarters. Because he needs the reps with the team, okay? Because if he didn't play, that would be, this week against the Cowboys, and then the wild card round, that would be 3 weeks without playing any football. And him only playing 1 game, that's not good. So maybe the Vikings still lose because they're underestimating Brett Hundley. Maybe they lose. Maybe they don't. But beating the Raiders and getting Nick Foles those reps will help. Speaking of Nick Foles, as I said, Nick Foles played very well. 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. It was great. And for anybody who is saying Nick Foles was just all right, or I need to see more from Nick Foles, stop it. You're nitpicking, and that's really, really stupid. Okay, yes, we have expectations of a possible Super Bowl this year. I get it. Yes, Nick Foles, he was good. Was he great? No. Did he wow me? No. But look, he did what he had to do. It was his first game back. Cut the man some slack. Was it a playoff game? No. Was it the Super Bowl? No. It was just a divisional game against the Giants. And every time Nick Foles went off the field, I was nervous because the defense could not hang on. They were letting up this and letting up that. But when they needed that stop, we got it. So as I'm saying, if you're saying Nick Foles needs to do more in the playoffs, yes, he will. But to grade him on his first game back and say, he could have done more. He overthrew some guys. Tom Brady overthrew some guys. Ben Roethlisberger overthrows some guys. Yes, we're talking about Hall of Famers and Nick Foles. Oh, they can overthrow some guys. That's a 5-time Super Bowl champion. That's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Yes, I get it. But come on, cut the man some slack. It's his first game back. Carson Wentz overthrew some guy. That's an MVP candidate, okay? He overthrew some guys. Chill. Leave the man alone. As he plays more, he'll get more comfortable. He'll play better. Just leave the man alone. He'll be all right. So with that being said, that goes into the Raiders game. Eagles really should blow these guys out. As a matter of fact, I want them to blow them out. Because I was upset Sunday night when the Raiders could not beat the Dallas Cowboys, giving the Dallas Cowboys false hope that we're going to make the playoffs and then go on this magical Super Bowl run. No, you're not. You're not. You're just not. I'm sorry. You're not. You're not going to the playoffs. Derek Carr, if you just run out of bounds, you don't need the touchdown. Just run out of bounds, then you would have something to play for. I bet you by Monday night, they'll be eliminated and they will have absolutely nothing to play for. They will be done. So whoever needs to win. That way, yeah, they may not lay down because we're the best team and we have the best record in football, but we need to show them that even if you have nothing to play for, you're not going to come up here and think you're just going to roll over us in our own building. No, we're not the Dallas Cowboys. We're not Dak Prescott. Is Dak Prescott better than Nick Foles? They're probably on the same level. I would probably take Dak over Nick Foles. But again, if I wanted a backup, I would want Nick Foles. The Eagles got to make a statement. I got one last statement because, like I said, we're replacing our starters for the game against the Cowboys. We need to make a statement. We need something to remind the NFL that there is a reason why we have the best record in football. There is a reason why we are in one game away from having home field advantage. There is a reason why, with or without Carson Wentz, we still have a chance to win the Super Bowl. There is a reason why. So we need to remind them. Would I like for Nick Foles to throw 7 touchdowns against the Oakland Raiders? You better believe it. That would be a Christmas miracle. But then people will say, oh, we're just the Raiders. Excuses. I heard my boy E-Rock say, come playoff time, no one's going to remember how you barely beat the New York Giants or how you blew out the Chicago Bears or how this team lost to this team or that team lost to that team. In the playoffs, it's a different feeling. It's a different place. Nobody's going to care. As long as you're here, you're here. Let's see what you got. Let's see who's going to be playing in Minneapolis in February. So I think the Eagles need to make a big statement. I think they will make a big statement. I think the defense shows up because I think that defense knows itself that they did not play up to their standards. Tackling, they used to tackle like what the heck? Look, should we be concerned? Somewhat. But the Giants always play us tough. You do remember we had to kick a 61-yard field goal to beat them in the first game, right? You do remember that. You remember we had to have Jake Elliott, who we were nervous about because at the time he was not the most accurate kicker. But we were nervous, like, oh God, we're going into overtime and they're gonna beat us. Remember, that 61-yard field goal got us on a 9-game win streak. Remember that. Remember that. So I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, maybe at the time because it was at the beginning of the season and not at the end of the season where we're trying to get playoff seedings and everything like that. I get it. But at the end of the day, the New York Giants have been swept. At the end of the day, we are 5-0 in the NFC East. And at the end of the day, remember, yes, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. But remember, it's Nick Foles' first day back. I believe the defense will get better. They got to. Or we'll be one and done. I believe that Nick Foles will continue to get better because he has to. Or we're going to be one and done. I believe the Eagles know that they have to make a statement. Because Doug Peterson said it. He said, you're 11-2. The first team to clinch a playoff spot. And you are still not getting respect. The moment Carson Wentz dropped, they gave up on you. I guess in a way, like you could say, it evened the playing field. Carson Wentz gives us the edge, but with Nick Foles, it evens the playing field. I want you to ask yourself this, though. Yes, think of everything you've seen of Case Keenum, including this year, and take everything you've seen of Nick Foles right here. You know what those two have in common? They had Jeff Fisher as their quarterback, as their coach. We all know he's a quarterback killer. Look at Jared Goff from year 1 to year 2. So, if you take the Jeff Fisher out of Nick Foles, and you take the Jeff Fisher out of Case Keenum, and you look at the two resumes, who do you trust more in the playoffs? Who do you trust? Do you trust Nick Foles, or do you trust Case Keenum? Because really, that's what it comes down to, because really, there's nothing about this game that worries me at all. Like I said, it's time to make a stand. It's time to remind people of who we are and how we got here. I'm going to go with 31-14 or 34-14. Let's say that. I think Nick Foles has another 4-touchdown game. Like I said, I would love for another 7. That would be amazing. But I think Nick Foles looks more and more comfortable. I think Wisniewski should be playing in this game. So the offensive line, which did play pretty well. I don't think Nick Foles got sacked, maybe once. Because he did have a strip sack, but we got the ball back. He has a little bit of Carson Wentz. Y'all saw that move where he juked the one defender out the way and threw the pass down the field for a pass interference. I'm straight. We're going to be fine. So I'm going with a score of 34-14. Eagles blow up the Raiders and remind everyone why we are the best and still best team in the NFC. So until next time. Announcement. So I will, like I said in my last video, I will be in Delaware next week. So when the game is on Monday, I'm going to try and do the video. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to try to do a recap video, but we'll see. Until next time, if you're not down with that, I've got 4 words for you. Remember, what are we doing this for? # do it for Carson. Peace out, y'all.